right, welcome to Life Extension Live. I'm Dr. Mike, and this is
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for joining us today. As you know, we go live every Wednesday, Dr. Crystal, 12 noon Eastern Time, and that's why you're here watching this show today. And today we're going to be talking about vitamin K. I love when we go back to the basics.
And it's a nutrient that people continue to be confused about.
There's a lot of questions, and so this whole show has been set up as myth
or fact.
And I think you're going to like this. And it's covering, I joke a lot, but it's the truth. Dr. Crystal and I, we have a whole team that helps us do this. We keep track of what people are asking in internet world and Google world and there's so many other than Google now, right? Where we follow. But so all of these myth or fact questions are actual questions people are asking. So this is relevant to you today, right?
Yes.
I have an interesting fact. Can I do my nerdy stuff?
Of course.
So I just wanted you guys to know, because I like this. Vitamin K was discovered in 1934 by a biochemist named Henrik Dam, who won a Nobel Prize. So vitamin K won a Nobel Prize for a guy.
Good. He deserves it.
And if you've ever wondered why it's called vitamin K, because he discovered it was necessary for coagulation.
Spelled with a K.
Spelled with a K. Blood clotting with a K, right? And so that's where it got its name from, vitamin K. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about top forms and doses, and then we're going to get right into the myth and facts. Actually, the top form and doses are kind of mixed in to the myth and facts. We're going to start off, though. We always like to do this. Working with Dr. Crystal is fantastic because she's the doctor of clinical. Well, no, we complement each other really well, right? You're the nutrition expert.
Tell me more.
She also has a great knowledge of general medicine and stuff, but I kind of bring in more of that clinical side of things. So I think we make a great team. So I always like to start with you on the nutrition side with these kind of things. What is vitamin K? Give us that nutrition definition.
So it's one of your fat-soluble vitamins. You may not always see it in a multi-nutrient formula because it's fat-soluble. And there are different forms. There is K1, which you find in green leafy vegetables. And then there's K2.
We have a chart.
We do. And that K2 is then broken down into different forms of what we call metaquinone, a series of K2s. And so you'll sometimes hear about MK4, MK7, MK9. These are different forms of K2, and they have different actions in the body, different absorbability capacities. The K2 is going to be more bioavailable, and then when you start breaking it down into the MK4, MK7, you start seeing that they can have different benefits in the body, kind of tailored focus. You typically see K1 more centered around primarily of fermentation. You find it in animal products.
Yeah. I think, do we have that chart with the foods and stuff? There, right there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yes. Now I can't see that chart. It's too far away.
I can see, so I can help you.
But it's just, go for it.
If you can't see it. All I know is vitamin K1, you see that side, all the pictures are green. Leafy greens.
Yeah, broccoli. Is broccoli on there?
Kale.
You all let me know if you see broccoli. If it's not on the list, it should be there.
That's all the leafy greens. K2 is more the beige stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be your meats and your cheeses.
Your egg yolks.
Yeah. Which is interesting because in the clinical world now, we have been telling people to avoid a lot of that stuff more and more. And so now it brings up the question, is there a problem with people in vitamin K2 levels? And this is what I've always find so funny about medicine sometimes, right? Even just food science too, is that we make some recommendations without realizing that we may be still causing the problem. Like, don't eat vitamin K2 foods. Now you're low in vitamin K2, but it's critical for cardiovascular health. Isn't that, see that? It's
and
like,
then people are confused.
Yeah.
What do I do?
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, and now one of the most predominant food sources of K2, I think it may have been on that list, is soy natto.
Oh. Have you ever
Stinky.
have you ever tried? Yeah, have you ever tried it before?
It's just too.
If you've never seen soy natto, it reminds me of baked beans that are like stuck together with like a glue, and you pull it apart, and it's I don't.
So anyway, no one's really eating that.
No. Well, there are some
Well,
countries.
I'm saying
and
it's yes.
stuff.
So
Not United
let's clarify
States.
that.
Yeah.
Not in the United States, but it's not a super popular food in the United States. So you have to start thinking about. Am I eating the foods with vitamin K2? Am I getting enough? And you will want to get enough once you learn more about its benefits in the body.
Okay, you want to read the next one?
Okay, myth or fact? Since vitamin K is fat soluble,
That's
it's
true.
stored in the body and you don't need to take it every day.
You're going to ask me?
All right, myth or fact?
False. It's a myth. Now, we got to be careful. Just let me explain. It's so often in science, nothing is just this clear, nice straight line. It's always gray and curvy and stuff, right?
Okay.
Because, yes, it's fat soluble. Yes, fat soluble vitamins tend to store up, right? But vitamin K is one where there's limitations to how much it's actually stored up. And you can get depleted pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So daily intake of vitamin K through foods or an add-in is really important. But I want to, this is off the script real quick, because a lot of people talk about this. If it's fat soluble, you don't need to take it. I just don't believe in that because today when you look at how we live our lives and the stress we're under, both physical stress, mental stress, environmental stress, all that put together, we deplete a lot of those stores of the D's and the E's and the K's pretty quickly, no matter what. So my opinion is don't worry about that. I think these vitamins are what make healthy humans. You need these every day, at least through food.
All right.
What do you think? Come on.
I agree. I agree.
I thought she was about to disagree. I was going to move on.
No, I absolutely
I was about to
agree.
move that on. All right, let's go. Wait, is that it? Yeah, that's good.
it.
Okay.
That's it.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, wait. There was one little additional thing. With vitamin K, with depletion, you have to remember there are certain bowel problems, malabsorption syndromes, cystic fibrosis, celiac disease. A lot of that will deplete you quicker, right? And if you've had certain surgeries like a weight loss surgery, that
you
also,
may not be absorbing as much of the vitamin K. Okay. So, but I love what you said. I think you kind of
mark that down.
Took it away, Dr. Mike.
Robson, Hannah, somebody. There we go. Thanks, Robson. All right, my turn. Ready?
Yes.
Myth. Vitamin K is only important for blood coagulation.
Myth.
Yes, false, right?
That is not a fact. It is a myth. As we mentioned earlier, the liver likes to use takeaway, and then Dr. Mike can maybe sprinkle in a few specifics. Vitamin K helps to get calcium out of the bloodstream into the bones. So now we're supporting bone health. It's being researched for osteoporosis. And we're supporting heart health because we don't have the calcium in the arteries.
Yeah.
So we're getting that calcium where it needs to go.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think sometimes the way I explain it too is I take the focus a little bit off the vitamins and focus on how important calcium is. Calcium is this key mineral that's involved with excitatory type tissues, nerve, muscle, that kind of stuff, gut. And so anytime you have a cell that needs to pump, or a cell that needs to fire, you need calcium, a lot of it. And it's two vitamins, D and K2, that really help to manage where calcium needs to go so it can do its job.
I love that. And then just some other cool facts is vitamin K helps to support the bone building cells. We call those osteoblasts and their formation or their development. So that's just another mechanism of action with K2 supporting bone health.
There you go. So it's not just about coagulation, although that's where it did get its original name, right?
That's right.
Okay. What else would you? Oh, wait, it's your turn.
Okay. Myth or fact? Dr. Mike. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this one. I learned something new. Vitamin K injections in newborns causes leukemia. Myth or fact?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, as it is today, the way we do it, it is a myth. It's not true. So should I give some background here?
Yes, we need to.
So it turns out, with a newborn, and we're talking just a few days, from birth to just a few days, newborns really don't have the ability. They don't have the right proteins. They don't have enough vitamin K1 to help coagulate. And so one of the primary unfortunate reasons for an infant to die early was bleeding. They couldn't clot right. So that was recognized. And then when we discovered vitamin K2, and we realized, well, what if vitamin K, and it was K1, what if we give them an injection of that, just a little bit, will that help? And it turns out that it actually does. It actually allows them to blood clot, so infant mortality went down.
Yes.
Which is why that biochemist in Germany won the Nobel Prize. It wasn't for the discovery of K. It was the fact that he was decreasing mortality in infants.
Yes, it's one of those things where you typically assume that the fetus is receiving all of its nutrients from the mother through the placenta. Vitamin K does not cross the placenta as well. We know that it can be produced from bacteria. The infants haven't developed the bacterial environment to make the vitamin K. Right. If you're breastfeeding, it's not crossing through the breast milk as readily. So yeah, they give the infants that shot of vitamin K within 6 hours of being born. It's right away.
It is a minuscule amount compared to what adult takes. And that's what happened. So in 1990, there was one study where they did find an association. This was not cause effect. It was just association. But they were using higher doses. And so what we realized, if you use the original idea, low dose, and other studies have come by now and been published that show there is no association at all. Not something to worry about. Getting a little bit of vitamin K into your infant is critically important to keep them from bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
My turn. Well, my turn to read, your turn to answer.
Okay.
Okay. Here it is, myth or fact. Ha-ha! This is another one that's out there.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Vitamin K injection in newborns cause jaundice.
That is a myth. Now, goes back to kind of what you mentioned earlier. Some cases of jaundice in newborns were reported in the 1950s, but those infants were injected with K2.
And it was high amounts, right? Yeah.
It was high doses of K2.
Yeah.
Now, let's fast forward to today. Infants now receive the low dose. It's K1. It's not associated with jaundice, so not something that you need to worry about.
The leukemia,
so another myth.
Jaundice, no. Vitamin K1 injections in newborns is very, very important.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Was that me, or did I read that, or did you read? I read that.
You read that to me,
turn.
So it's my turn. Myth or fact? We make our own vitamin K, so we don't need to take it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that there is truth in this, right? I'm going to say this is false overall.
Okay.
Right. There I am. Bacteria in our GI tract do make some vitamin K, but mainly K2, right? But we don't. Here's the problem. Apparently that the absorption of that K2 into your bloodstream is not very high. It's for whatever reason. I don't know if we understand it fully. I don't know from a nutrition point of view if you know. But yes, you make a little. Doesn't have great absorption, and so at the end of the day, we need to get it through our food and maybe some add-ins for sure. Yeah.
Good there.
Okay.
All right, my
nothing
turn.
to say?
Nothing to say.
Woo! I'm on a roll.
I love this next one. Come on, ask me.
Okay. Well, just slow down now.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Okay. Myth or fact? You should not eat foods. Oh, this is a good one. Yes. You should not eat foods that contain vitamin K if you are taking vitamin K antagonist drugs such as warfarin, what a lot of people know as the blood thinners.
Right.
Okay. True or false? Or wait, myth or fact? Sorry.
That's a myth.
Myth.
And that's why I'm so excited about this, because I have spent years trying to help people to understand that you do not need to avoid vitamin K. What needs to happen from the foods, what needs to happen is you need to try to consume the same amount on a regular basis so that you don't have fluctuations in the clotting.
Yeah.
Or in the thinning of the blood, or in how they measure it is with the INR. And this is specific to warfarin.
Yeah, when you're on warfarin.
When you're on that medication, doctors are routinely checking your prothrombin time or your INR, and they want it at a very specific level.
It's a very tight range.
Very tight range. And so some vitamin K will kind of throw that range off, but you can't just avoid green leafy vegetables.
No.
That's not the best way.
And there are some studies that have also shown, eating that normal amount of leafy greens and stuff can actually help stabilize INR. So it's really kind of an old adage to tell somebody, okay, you're on warfarin, avoid leafy greens. It's just not, in my opinion, a medical sound suggestion.
It's not, but what you would have to do is certainly work with your doctor and make sure you're eating green leafy vegetables daily. You can't, have the sad diet and then go and then you have the kale and a big salad and then you throw things off.
Yeah. It's because, and this is what's great about it. It kind of forces some people, if you really want to have that leafy green on once in a while and you're on warfarin, now you got to change your diet a little bit. Eat some more of the greens every day.
Yes.
And you're going to be okay. You have a stable INR.
That is the best way. Yeah. Or another option is a low dose vitamin K add-in. Now, this you will need to work with your doctor, but there is research with low dose vitamin K added in can stabilize those fluctuations. So, you may not have to be quite as meticulous with the diet.
So that is a myth. Options. If you've been told this by your doctor, we're not going to. You got to talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Have that conversation and go from there. So
or ask your doctor to give you a referral or seek out a licensed nutrition professional, because this kind of managing the diet, if you're on warfarin, that's not the doctor's area of expertise.
It's not.
So go to an expert and they will help you.
All right, you're going to read this last one to me.
Last one. Oh, This is a big one.
Oh, actually, no, there's two more, right? There's two more.
Yes. Okay. Myth or fact? High vitamin K intake causes blood clots, Dr. Mike.
Myth, false. Yeah, I don't want to get into the weeds with this, but what vitamin K is really doing to form a clot. Well, think of it this way: when you want to stop bleeding, there's two parts. There's your platelet part, and then there's a clot part, right? The platelets form first, and then the clot actually forms on the platelets. Yeah. But vitamin K doesn't affect the platelet stuff.
Yeah,
it's affecting the clot that's going to form, which is made by these proteins. And for these proteins to stick together and form the clot, they kind of have to be activated. Is that a good way of saying it?
I love it.
And
You're doing good.
That's what vitamin K is doing. Yes. It's helping to activate these proteins. They stick together. But here's the thing. You can't overactivate them. It's like once they stick.
Once you turn on the light.
Yeah, it's like a light. They're on. They're activated. They form the clot. They go to the platelets and you stop bleeding. There's no let's do it again and again and again. It doesn't work like that. Your body has to eventually replenish all of that to be able to stop to form another clot. So it can't happen because it's these proteins are either on or off.
Yes, and we see this in research. First of all, vitamin K has no known toxicity in studies with really high doses, 135 milligrams per day. No increase in clotting were seen. And when I say that's a high dose, on average, vitamin K, you typically see it in the microgram doses.
Yeah.
So this is big doses, no evidence of clotting.
Okay, there you go. There's one more.
Excessive clotting.
There's one more question, and this is going to go to Dr. Crystal. You ready?
Yes, ready.
Myth or fact?
Uh-huh.
It is recommended to take vitamin D3 with K2.
Fact!
Yes!
Absolutely. I mean, I call this I call it the healthy trio combined with calcium.
Right. Yeah.
Calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K, because there's a beautiful relationship with vitamin D helping to support calcium absorption into the bloodstream. Vitamin K helps to get that calcium into the bones.
Exactly. It really comes down. That's why I always kind of bring it around to calcium.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the body has figured out we need calcium, but we need it in the right places. We don't need it clogging up our arteries, right?
Yeah.
We don't need it. We don't need it in the brain tissue and stuff. We need it in the bones. We need it for those active cells, and so the body has a very complex way between a couple of vitamins of making sure calcium behaves and does what it's supposed to do. How's that?
I love it.
All right, there you go. There's your myth or fact of vitamin K, vitamin K1, vitamin K2. If you want more information, Life Extension, have we mentioned the magazine in a while?
Not in a long time.
Our sponsor, Life Extension, has a monthly magazine that it really is considered in the industry one of the best, because it's full of articles like vitamin K article we're going to send you to. There you can see it, lifeextension.com/vitamin K. Go check that out. You'll see the science that is involved in writing these kind of articles, which is why Life Extension is really considered one of the true nutritional companies grounded in that rigorous science.
Yes.
Lifeextension.com/vitamin K. There you go. Do you want to tell them about the LE Live discount while they're there?
Oh, yes. And while you're at lifeextension.com, you can look around, shop around. If you see something you like, use the discount code LE Live to receive 10% off, $50 or more, plus free shipping and handling. Again, that is at lifeextension.com.
Don't forget, we go live every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern time. So whatever channel you watch us on, like, share, do all that stuff. But hit interested, ring bells, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff on those different social channels. That way you always know when we're about to go live on Wednesdays, 12 noon Eastern time. I'm Dr. Mike.
I'm Dr. Crystal.
We'll see you next